Bitcoin's back, baby. It hits an all-time high, 69,000. Interesting number on Tuesday, 69,000 before dropping, sitting around 68K. Could be 75 by the time you hear this, or 50. It's been ripping in 2024, up 70% since January 25th. There's two things going on here that you've probably heard about. The Bitcoin ETFs finally arrived in the US. They were approved by the SEC on January 10th. We'll get into that in a minute, Chamath. Obviously, if it's an ETF, it's super easy to buy them and sell them. They've been a total hit. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF became the fastest ETF to ever reach 10 billion in assets. Also, as the technical crypto heads in the audience know, there is a halving happening in April. This happens about every 4 years at the current pace. Last one was May of 2020. When these halvings happen, the mining rewards are cut in half. This reduces the supply of new Bitcoins entering circulation and can cause some swings. Chamath, we released a clip, I think, just about your prediction, and you nailed it again. You said this would be a big year for Bitcoin. So your thoughts on being right?
I don't have much thoughts on that, but my two comments are that I talk to a lot of Bitcoin traders and folks that seem to have a very good pulse and touch on this market. I don't say that I do, because I don't really look at it every day, but they seem to think that this thing is on a death march to 100K. I'm not sure whether that price is realistic or not in the year, but I will say that we're going to get to a tipping point where everybody really talks about this. I still don't think we're there yet. I think we're just at the beginning. But when you see the inflows into these ETFs, Cal, it's like a very big deal, because it just allows every mom and pop individual to buy some to the extent that they want to own it or they want to speculate on it, whatever it is. So I think it's been a very big year. And I think that psychologically, it's proven a lot of folks wrong. And it's a setup for something really constructive. The other thing I'll say is that it's not just Bitcoin, but as goes Bitcoin, people are now speculating that there's going to be an Ethereum ETF that gets approved as well. Because, if you approve one, there's probably legitimate cause to approve a few others. So these things are becoming part of the financial fabric. And I think that should not be underestimated.
$1,000. Join us right now to talk Bitcoin is Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy Executive Chairman, and 8K out from the company this morning, revealing it just bought more than $800 million in Bitcoin. As of the end of last month, his company held about 200,000 Bitcoins. And Michael, I want to thank you for joining us. You have been early and courageous, and you continue to double down. I want to talk about where you think Bitcoin is.
Bitcoin is certainly at least digital gold. It's going to eat gold. It's got all of the great attributes of gold, and it's got none of the defects of gold. If you could teleport gold from New York to Tokyo in a few minutes, people would like it. It's going to divert capital from risk assets and risk ETFs like SPY. It's going to be incorporated into a lot of funds like the BlackRock Global Opportunities Fund or the Strategic Income Opportunities Fund. And so it's an asset class. As it goes into other funds, it's going to become structural. The halving is going to cut the organic supply of natural sellers in half around April 20th. That means there's only about $32 million a day of natural sellers. And the price of Bitcoin is going to have to adjust up in order to meet that investor demand. So I think that's what's going to happen next to the asset class.
At 17, down from 68, and your leverage and everything else, did you ever wake up in the middle of the night and have any doubt whatsoever?
Two good questions. And thanks for asking me. First, with regard to Bitcoin, no, there's no doubt in my mind Bitcoin was a better investment at 17,000 than it was at 65,000. I take the Warren Buffett view on this. Bitcoin's a superior investment to gold, equity, bonds, and real estate because it's digital. You can trade it 1 million times faster than conventional assets using a computer. It's available. Most other assets only trade less than 20% of the time. Bitcoin's trading 168 hours a week. We bought $800 million of Bitcoin, and a lot of it we bought over the weekend when all the conventional markets are closed. It's global. It's the most widely recognized and trusted investment asset in the world right now. It's ethical because it's the king of all commodities. There's no issuer. There's no company. There's no country controlling it. And fundamentally, it's useful. Thousands of market makers can trade it all the time. Millions of companies can trade it. Billions of people. If you want to buy a house on Saturday in Africa, this is the way to do it. If you want to buy a car on Sunday morning, this is the way to do it. So it's a pretty great asset. It's the greatest of the assets, in my opinion. There's no second best asset. So I didn't have any question about it. We're just waiting for the rest of the world to realize how good it is.